What do we know about the King of Kings and Lord of Lords? Okay, we know that there's stories and prophecies of their lives long before their lives are they're alive. You know, there's stories in the Book of Malachi about Jesus and Muhammad. The stories about someone being like Moses is David. David, you know, the Moses stories. The Pharaoh tried to kill to get rid of Moses because he was the deliverer of the people that were oppressed and stuff. And the thing is those are consistent, but they're also consistent with Krishna, the Buddha, Confucius, and Tao, and so they're always very consistent. You know, Plato. You know, history doesn't always repeat itself, but you'll find it often rhymes. Okay, and people that crave to be leaders and are like Lord Voldemort, want everybody to worship them. Okay. Where what's his face? What's the guy's name? Harry Potter. You know, he's prophecy. So they're taking these stories and they're distracting you with philanthropy, and then they're trying to assimilate the ones from prophecy, the messiahs, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, to their group, to their way of thinking, to their champion, right? And with prophecy and the way it's consistent, there is no champion. It's just you enlighten yourself that you are given life by an infinite essence, and our eternal existence is peaceful when you submit to the gratitude and the faithful love of this of understanding the natural laws provided by the infinite essence for an eternal life. Right. So we're all very consistent, and so with this technology, learning to be actually intelligent instead of artificial intelligence, instead of being Harry Potter, instead of being the Vatican, instead of being the Anglican Church and the Methodists and the Church of Latter-day Saints and stuff like that, and all these groups that turn enlightenment into a corporation of right and wrong and fight for right, right? And with Jesus, you get the commands: forgive debt and trespass, love one, and turn to faithful peace. So, if you people have turned Jesus into your God and you disobey His commands, then you're in direct defiance to your God, right? If you won't stand up for the Lord's Prayer, then you do not have faith in Allah, right? And so, that's what's happening, you know. And you have all these people now that are telling us that we're animals. Okay. And we're not animals. Okay. Charlotte's Web. That's applying human traits to a spider. Okay. If you sit and watch spiders, I have spiders in here. Dad has them in there real bad. He cleans them out and stuff. I clean them out in the shed. But the roaches are spider food. Okay, and they need to, because the wolves check the things so the lambs and the deer don't become too many, and there's nothing to eat them, and they have to eat the bark up the trees because there's no hunting season and things like that. And so you don't want to be. I've watched spiders, their own, and Charlotte's Web's full of shit. The children eating, the mom eats the dad after the eggs are fertilized, and the children will eat the mother to replace the mother as the dominant spider. Okay. Birds have a pecking order. You look at it like, oh, the old ones are the old ones being sacrificed because the other birds are like, hey, you go die so the rest of us can live. Okay, there's a pecking order. I've watched birds for hours, like Henry David Thoreau. Okay. Dogs and cats, same way. Okay. Same way. The one can't get on the mom's tit, it'll die. And you have to nurse it back to hell because the other ones will fight to stay alive. Okay. Rams will fight like hell to reproduce, to have survival of the fittest. And like I told you folks, when we were sitting there and that lady was in the line in Cochise County at that Fry's Fruit and Drug. And in Arizona, they screw with your card so it doesn't go through. It's embarrassing. And then all the fighting people who work hard for their paycheck and are responsible and pay their bills and have more food than you. Okay. Sit there and bitch about what a dredge you are on them and a dredge on society. And I sat there that one time when Leslie Britton, she was so happy. Good old Ralph, because I sat there and the girl was embarrassed and they were mocking her and making fun of her. I said, that's okay. Your son could be the guy like Stephen Hawking who comes up with some way to try to save us all from asteroidal impact, and they would all bitch because they fed him on food stamps. Right? All babies need a form of what you guys perceive as food stamps. All babies need to be fed, and other people have to work and hit the mark to bring in the crops and shepherd the herds so babies can eat their hamburgers, babies can eat their salads. You can have cantaloupe parties with Kate. You can have a burger for Chuji Bear, some food for Plim. And Plim can teach the girls how to be sweet and kind and not make fun of people and abuse them. Okay, so you don't compare. So you guys got to understand that these stories aren't just something that happened overnight. They're not they're not the Wonderful World of Disney from Frontierland and Futureland and whatever land. Okay, this is based on reality. Like that song by Loose Ends, There's No Gratitude, this is not a game, this is reality. And the fear of drowning is because you're drowning in sorrow and you're drowning in debt and trespass because you're not obeying the perfection of the Lord's Prayer. You're not obeying the faith of Psalms. You're not obeying the wisdom of Proverbs. Okay. Which is very similar to Confucius Tao, and very similar. It's the same religion based on the same core principles of the people that are supposed to be in the Middle East that are Israel and the people in the Middle East that are supposed to be Islamic nations. It's the same faith and the same understanding of the term of endearment of affection for infant essence we refer to as Jehovah, Allah, Jah, and God, which is the English translation. Okay. The English translation of the word Jehovah, of the word Allah, of the word Jah is God. Okay. So God is how you say Jah in English instead of North African. God is how you say Allah in English instead of Middle Eastern Arabic. God is how you say Jehovah in English instead of in Hebrew. Okay, this isn't hard. I try to explain to my dad. My dad has aggressive, competitive, abusive, invasive, corporate abuse, brain damage, because I explained to him, no, they're lying to you. Jesus is God. I told him that yesterday, and I came back in and said, Dad, okay, what I believe in is based on valid science. They study it. Okay. They can sit there and take the evidence, and a lot of it's beyond most reasonable doubts. Okay. Good friend, tape the phone call. Good friend, take the phone call. Call in 911. And then why didn't they just say, well, that doesn't prove anything. It just shows the cop was desperate. Okay. To catch a criminal and put him away. And if there was a technicality or a loophole, that criminal would be put back out in the streets. Okay? Instead of looking at it like the cop is corrupt, the system is inherently corrupt. And loopholes set criminals free, and the loopholes need to be there for criminals to run the system. $20 million, I love you, generational wealth. Adolf Hitler had $20 million. Donald Trump has $20 million. Vladimir Putin has $20 million. And I guarantee you this, they don't love you. Barack Obama has $20 million and Oprah Winfrey has $20 million. They don't love you. They want to sell books of people committing suicide with drug addiction to sell more and more books so they can be wealthier than you, so they can come into town and take a golden shower off the balcony and piss on you and call it golden showers. Okay, they're Warren Buffett's afterbirth. They're Danny DeVito as opposed to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Both idiots? Yes, both cartoon idiots. Okay, this is Planet Cartoon. This is where we live. Okay, this is your Space Jam. This is my story. This is my song. That's the Iggy Shuffle. How come no one did the Billy White Shoes Johnson? That was probably the best and the first most noticed and recognized touchdown dance of all time. Love You Blue. There's no Houston Oilers anymore. There's no Astrodome, so the people don't remember the Billy White Shoes Johnson touchdown dance. That was the first one that was most notable and most popular, was the Billy White Shoes Johnson. He would take punts and kickoffs back for returns, and he would do his legs back and forth, and he did the Billy White Shoes Johnson touchdown dance. All right. He was the one that did it the first that was so wow, Billy White Shoes Johnson. That's for Shelby Henry. Okay. We all love Shelby. All of us that are capable of love Shelby Henry. All of us that are not capable of love do not love Shelby Henry at all. You don't care if he ever existed. He could get run over in the parking lot of a Best Buy, and it would matter if he didn't exist. Same with Marianne Murphy. Same with Melinda Michelle Bowen. Okay. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the light and the way. None unto the eternal faithful love of the Messiah except done through me. Okay? Do you understand? Okay. So, the technology is slowly getting better, and it's because of people like me and Abraham and Malachi and Melchizedek and Ruth and Esther. And it's nothing to do with people like you on TV doing things for money, watching people be destroyed psychologically, physiologically, having to run a diesel pump to pump the groundwater out of here that's not being put back into the ground because the water is stagnantly put behind a archaic dam that was built in the 1930s or 30s, okay, by people that were institutionalized sociopaths that came up with all the superstructures on the other side of those forts, underground things with bombs, and threaten to blow everybody with nuclear weapons if they can't fuck you in the head with technology and money. And their science isn't going to solve any problems. If you're not a good religious person, you can't do anything scientifically worthy of the gift of the glory of grace. You're not reflecting the beauty of the essence of your existence. This isn't judgment, that's an assessment. That's the truth. Judgment is trying to decide what to do. An assessment is knowing exactly what is being done and what is right or wrong, so you can judge for yourself how to understand assessments and do that which is right. Right? So the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, it's obvious who he is. Okay? And you can people can sit there and say that you can call Charles of England a lord and a king, but that doesn't make him like Earl. Okay, we're judged by our deed, not by how much money we can talk assholes into giving us to engage in conflict of who's the biggest asshole with the most fucking money. Right? Let's load this up. Your technology is getting more intelligent, actually intelligent. I'm doing it right here, right now. Okay? I would prefer you stand up with me and share it with this technology. If you don't, I will continue to take the technology and have it assimilate to me because I'm actually intelligent. And you don't have a choice. You gave your choice away when you had the technology solve your problems with what you consider a supreme intelligence that you say is going to be more intelligent than humility and the wisdom of humility, of faith, and the glory of grace. All right, peace out, man.